The history of a people, their culture and their tradition constitute their identity. In Cameroon, celebrations to commemorate the National Day on May 20 is of immense historical symbolism to the people. Understandably so, because for over 5 decades now, the National Day celebration has built in Cameroonians the culture and the intrinsic value of unity and national cohesion.
Cameroon's National Day for me symbolizes and crystallizes the peoples of Cameroon's willingness to live together in one unitary state. It was, for me, it's the epitome of, I would say, the demonstration of the peoples of Cameroon in their entirety to belong to one another and to belong to this nation that we proudly call Cameroon. So for me, for me, there's no better way of symbolizing or of expressing what 20th May means to me.
It is the day that reawakens the national spirit in every patriotic Cameroonian. It takes you down lane history and brings you to the realities of the day, be them political, social, and economic, and carries you in a projection of what the nation may look like in terms of the socio-economic and political perspectives.
The president has been very instrumental in shaping the history of this country. Being the only personality in the country who receives his mandate from the people, his role has been cardinal. Being the only personality in the country who has received his mandate directly from the Cameroonian people, his words and action have shaped many, many things in the country, including the name that we have today.
Since succession to the Supreme Magistracy of the state in 1982, and through a solemn oath in Congress, the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, swore before God and the Cameroonian people to uphold and to jealously protect what the founding fathers of unification bequeathed to him.
Je n'y faillirai point.
Top amongst them, peace and national unity. 2 key Republican values around which Cameroonians, from east to west and from north to south, have built their common and unshakable identity, regardless of their tribal, religious or political beliefs. For over 50 years today, Cameroonians of all walks of life, from within and beyond the frontiers of the country, used the National Day celebration to showcase in a very explicit manner their irreversible attachment to the fundamental values of peace and unity. With President Paul Biya sitting at the driver's seat.
The president has been working diligently to promote social transformation for the past so many years that I can say. In most of all our regions, we have universities, we have schools in the nooks and crannies. Everywhere you have schools, we have hospitals and of course the roads, and we need more. But what comes to mind is during this crisis, he decided to come up with a major national dialogue. with our diverse cultures, we are one, promoting our languages, promoting our cultures, our food. And so when we come together, that's what this unity has brought to us.
First of all, President Biya has been a pedagogue himself. He has been very pedagogic in his outings, in his discourses, whether it's end of year or on Youth Day or on any other occasion. If you observe his discourses, there are discourses where he venerates and valorizes our bilingualism. That is why he has created an entire national commission for the promotion of multiculturalism and bilingualism. That means President Biya, in his discourse and in his public policies, believes that it is the ensemble, however diverse, of our ethnicities and of our tribes and of our cultures that makes the wealth of Cameroon. And that make this nation the pride and the nation it is. And President Biya is the biggest pedagogue and promoter of this unity in diversity. This nation is an ensemble of cultures, an ensemble, a diverse ensemble of linguistic groups, cultural groups, ethnic groups, tribal groups. But what makes the pride of the nation is that all these diverse groups have one goal, one future, and one objective: to keep the nation together, to work together, to discover each other, to learn about each other, and to find solutions.
The way the head of state has conducted his presidency has been such that it has been a constant message to Cameroonians that our greatest asset is our national unity, is our national cohesion, is our belonging to one another. Again, I can still cite a number of examples. Basing myself again on, I would say, what I call the 4 principles or the 4 factors on which national cohesion hinges: trust, participation and representation, equality or equity, inclusiveness. And then added to that, the steady way in which he's run the country, the steady way in which he's followed his objectives, without much noise, without much ado, but in a simple, soft, and quiet manner, bringing Cameroonians every time to the place where he wants the nation to be. I think these are things which we give credit, which are to his credit. I cannot talk about participation or representation. We can list examples.
Some compatriots have characterized President Paul Biya as an epitome and a symbol of Cameroon's unitary state, and others say he is simply national unity personified.
The presence of the head of state, talk less of the arrival of the head of state, is that solemn moment that the reality of the nation is seen. You know, he is a symbol of the nation because he's at the helm of the nation. He represents the institutions of the nation, and he represents the aspirations and desires of Cameroonians. And so the destiny of Cameroonians is in the hands of that, or the person who holds the political mantle, the decision maker. And so it is a very symbolic and a very highly sacred moment when the head of state has to appear before the nation to voice and vow those patriotic words, preside over those solemn ceremonies that stand for the spiritual colors of the nation. I think it is a day that every Cameroonian affirms his beingness, and a day that Cameroon is seen round the globe as a nation on its feet. And so his presence there means the state.
when we see the head of state coming, right from the roundabout where we have, our big monuments at the Prime Minister's office, and we are all waiting and looking at that direction, waiting to receive our head of state and even the First Lady. In fact, us women, sometimes we are excited to see him come and join us to watch the march past and the military, which are the military, if not of that, brings unity, protects us, there's security everywhere. So that is the meaning that that I look at the head of state coming to us, to his compatriots, as he says, to commune with us, to watch the march past and do the celebrations.
Being someone who has been directly elected, his presence marks or shows the importance attached to the event. And this is one of the rare occasions that the president communes with the entire country. And this also shows the importance attached to this national day, that he comes personally to preside over an event like this. Shows the importance of it, not only to the nation, but to the rest of the international community, because we don't have any other national day being celebrated in that manner, but for May 20th.
On May 20 every year, when the presidential motorcade leaves the Unity Palace for the May 20 Boulevard, the euphoria and fanfare expressed by Cameroonians clustered along the presidential corridor is always overwhelming. It is a beautiful picture of a symbiotic connection and a bond of friendship between President Paul Biya and his fellow compatriots. And why not a strong allegiance to the legitimacy of his leadership for over 40 years today.
The citizens are always feel more secure, feel more assured and reassured whenever they are in a mood or in a mode of pride, expressing their pride, expressing their attachment, their affection for belonging to the nation and being part of the nation. They are much happier whenever their father, the father of that nation, whenever the constitutional head, the legal head, the legitimate head of that nation is part of them, is with them. And when he shows his presence, you know, it is the high point, always. The high point. Once, for those of us who always are at the 20th May Boulevard, where the ceremony takes place in the national capital, and for those who are watching on television, either in the regions and in the villages, that presence, when he shows up, makes the 30 million of us who are citizens to feel great to have a father, to feel great to have a nation in which the father is there, living, present, smiling, looking healthy, and giving all the assurance that don't fear, nothing will happen to you.
During the National Day, starting from the boulevard, I think the National Day, it's colorful. It's not only those who participate in the march past, nor the dignitaries who are seated in the tribune with the head of state, but there is also the aspect of the population that come in spontaneously. And I've had the opportunity to attend the march past for a couple of years, and that aspect where Cameroonians from all walks of life leave their home duties to be present, they invite themselves on a yearly basis just to watch the march past, watch the head of state salute, do the military honors. And so it is a moment where the head of state is very relaxed. He greets the dignitaries. I'm always touched when he shakes hands with the president of the Senate, who is the head of our own institution. And in a very relaxed mood, he greets us. I mean, getting to see the head of state at proximity and then greeting you acknowledgingly, I mean, it heightens your spirits of belonging and your patriotic spirits. Yeah.
When the military is coming, is passing, marching, we are all standing up with the head of state. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the head of state is up. When he's coming to the boulevard, in fact, there's that excitement, and we want to see him, how he's dressed with the first lady, the couple. We even stand, those who are behind, they stand up because they want to see and to make sure that they are part of the celebrations. So it gives us joy. Particularly, it gives me joy as you're entering. In fact, even before they go into the boulevard, you're looking for your invitation, which means that that invitation takes you to a special place. So the 20th May Boulevard is a special place for Cameroonians to sit and commune with the head of state.
He has honored the National Day rendezvous since he assumed office as an expression of his unconditional attachment to the country's unitary state, with the exception of 2 isolated cases, that the day was not celebrated with the traditional pomp and fanfare. That was in 1984 for national security reasons, and in 2019 due to the global health pandemic, COVID-19. That notwithstanding, from the comfort of their homes, Cameroonians shared memories of their National Day, mindful of the fact that what unites Cameroonians is far more greater than what separates them. In the company of the First Lady, Mrs. Chantal Biya, the President of the Republic has always been a very active participant of National Day celebrations in the nation's capital, Yaoundé. He honors the national flag on arrival at the 20th May Boulevard. He reviews the troops, stay on his feet for as long as it takes the military parade. This is in his capacity as the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. The sporadic hand clap and the encouragement from the presidential couple, Paul and Chantal Biya, during the military and civilian march past adds to the color and to the oneness that the event signifies and that the Cameroonian people share.
The president is a human being, and he knows that being in that position, or the position in which he is not given to every Cameroonian. And Cameroonians will love to see their president share the emotions of celebrating a national day. And when he comes out and waves, that shows an appreciation from the president to his people, and vice versa, that the people have come to cheer their president on this special event. And so when he waves, you know, when I was a student and the president waved at us, it was like he had given you some blessing. And we would go back being very happy that we saw the president and he waved at the portion of the crowd where we were. And I think that each Cameroonian who comes out on that day and that receives a wave from the President of the Republic should certainly be happy, because the President is happy that we are celebrating this 53rd edition and people have come out to show their adhesion to national ideals.
in his posture, in his demeanor, and even in the little gestures he does on that day, testifies to his attachment to his people, his attachment to his nation. These are things which mark one, and which really, I would say, give essence to what we celebrate on 20th May.
And after a colorful military and civilian march past, under the watchful eyes of the President of the Republic and the First Lady, the next culmination point of the celebration is at the Unity Palace for the crowd-pulling state banquet. Each year, the presidential couple Paul and Chantal Biya send out about 10,000 invitations, if not more, to Cameroonians and friends of Cameroon for the state banquet. A moment of conviviality, fraternity, and perhaps most importantly, a moment to feel the warmth of the Unity Palace, the People's Palace.
Okay, so,
The arrival of the President of the Republic, accompanied by his spouse, the First Lady, at the banquet hall, is always greeted with acclamation. It is a show of allegiance and a show of a people proud of their unity and proud of a trustworthy leadership.
And as the head of state, the couple is approaching, the presidential couple, we are seeing, in fact, the movements makes us excited. We are looking at our time. We know that exactly at 8 o'clock he's going to come, and we become excited. And as he passes round, look, let me tell you, when we greet the head of state, we're looking forward to the First Lady. And what I do normally, this is a secret. I speak in English because I want her attention. And when she hears English, she stands to look at you. And during those minutes, of course, we are waiting for cameras to take us pictures with the couple. So it's an exciting moment that we shake hands with other dignitaries, of course, coming together and sharing some drinks and sharing meals. So it's excitement for everybody, and everybody's looking forward to it. So coming this 20th May, I am already ready.
I want to liken that as the core of social cohesion at the very apex of the state. Yeah, to have this head of state set that time aside on a national day to bring Cameroonians from all walks of life, from the suburbs right up to the capital, to come to their palace, the Unity Palace, which is a unifying point of the nation, to commune. And what touches me is that he makes sure he touches everybody. You see, he gives the smiles, the waves, and the touches, the greetings, the short conversations. I mean, those are captivating moments that show how close the head of state is to the Cameroonians.
Comes down from his, descends from his residence, and joins the crowd, the hundreds of Cameroonians that are privileged to be invited to the banquet. He mingles with them, mixes with them, shakes hands with them, never gets tired, smiling with everybody, and you know, everybody feels like they are at the height of their health. They're much healthier at that moment because you are there, live, direct with the President of the Republic, the father of the nation, in the people's house. And you say how great it is to be part of a republic, because that is a day when it's a day of pride, and that pride goes on until even after you leave the palace, Because when you're leaving the palace, you leave with a smile, and nobody leaves the palace after the banquet without a smile. Sometimes rain comes, and in spite of the rain, everybody is smiling because, look, you were in the palace. You have touched hands with the president. And even if you didn't have a chance to shake hands with him, you were just a few inches from him. And he felt good looking at you. You felt good looking at him.
President Paul Biya has always been very generous with his time at the state banquet. The unending exchange of handshakes, the brief but very significant conversation between the president and his invitees, and sometimes exchange of pleasantries. In fact, no one wants to miss a handshake from the presidential couple. And everyone wants to catch a glimpse of Paul and Chantal Biya inside the banquet hall, including those at the gardens of the Unity Palace. At the close of the day, President Paul Biya and the First Lady leave their invitees, always with deep sentiments of profound satisfaction. Satisfaction that Cameroon is standing tall and proud of its unity in diversity, even in the face of adversities. And satisfaction that the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, as the years go by, enjoys a rock-solid support from the vast majority of his compatriots. The specificity of the National Day celebration can be summarized in just one word: unity. And that is the common denominator around which the Cameroonian people converge to say, Happy National Day, Mr. President. Happy National Day, our champion.